if you're putting your efforts into something like Facebook, you want to know that you're getting some kind of positive ROI out of it. So I'm going to go through with you guys today step by step, and we're going to hit 7 strategies that are really going to help your bottom line in the end. It's going to be things that will help you to expand your overall customer base, things you can do to triple your referrals, and to increase your customer value and retention. So before we get started, real quickly, I just want to tell any of you who are on the call who haven't been on with me before a little bit about myself, and tell you really quickly my story. I was just like you guys out there. About 4 or 5 years ago, I ran an online retail company. We sold a lot of volleyball stuff. That was our niche. That was what we did. And I was looking for a really creative way to market that. And I was playing around at home on Facebook one day and reading an article and realized there are so many millions and millions of people on here. Obviously, there have to be people on here that like volleyball, right? So I did a little bit of searching and looking around. And to make a long story short, after a few years really of learning everything I could about social media marketing, and Facebook obviously is a part of that, I was able to understand that there's a certain method that you want to follow if you're going to use Facebook marketing as a part of your business, and to make sure that it's profitable for you. You make money off of it. I connected with somebody very much like me, my business partner Christine McDaniel, who had run some other companies as well. She agreed with me, and that's how Social Starfish was born. So why should you listen to us is really the question here. I just gave you one great reason, that we use these exact strategies to grow companies that we had in the past, and those companies were featured on NBC and in the Los Angeles Times. We've had our companies in Entrepreneur Magazine and even in Oprah Magazine. So I think we're doing something right here, because we're getting a lot of recognition for it. If nothing else, what we'll teach you will get your companies famous if you don't make a lot of money. So anyway, some of the things we've been doing here that also should be proof for you guys that we kind of know what's going on. We just had another book that was published this summer about social media. That's specifically for the restaurant industry, but could apply to a lot of things. And we had a couple of new products come out. One that's informational product to help daily deal companies get their businesses up and running, and the Facebook pay-per-click instant mastery product, which 3 lucky people are going to be the beneficiaries of today. I've got those names already picked out right here. While we were waiting to get started, I checked the attendee list for everybody that was going to be on, and I will share those with you right at the end of the hour. Something to keep you guys hanging in there. So anyway, we know why I'm here and how I think I can help you, but the question is, why are you here? I want to make sure that everybody's really clear on why you decided to join us. And I want to thank you guys, because I'll tell you, I know a lot of people who are business owners, entrepreneurs, and most of them are not, you know, when you're getting into the very end of that 4th quarter, into December, a lot of people want to, you know, just come in and put in a few hours and then go home and relax. And you know what? Those are not the people that are super successful. All of the extremely successful people that I know invest as much time into learning and understanding about different ways to grow their business. They do that as much as they can, and you know, I really feel like that's what all of you guys are doing here today, and so I really applaud you for that from the bottom of my heart, totally. And I'm guessing that's one big reason that you're here, but specifically, why are you here to learn about Facebook? So I think it's one of these reasons. Now, I'm guessing most of you are either currently using Facebook and not getting the results that you want, so you decided to let me kind of spit out some of the info that I've learned over the years to maybe try and help you a little bit. Maybe some of you haven't really tried to start using Facebook at all in your business, because maybe you don't really understand it and you're not really sure if it's something that can even really be used to make money. Maybe, on another hand, you got started on Facebook because everybody, you know, your significant other and friends and relatives and other business owners, you know, and commercials in the media, and me, of course, everybody's telling you that you need to be on Facebook. But so maybe you took the plunge and kind of got started, but once you got in there, you weren't really sure what to do or how to really take advantage of it. And so you've just kind of left it alone and not really been doing anything with it. So for all three of those scenarios, I am going to help you guys solve your issue today. So if you guys are ready to get going, I am, and hopefully you're ready to take some notes. And I throw the image of the iPad in there rather than pen and paper because we're super green here, and so we try to stay away from using paper as much as we can. But if that's your thing, more power to you. I have no issues. So we will jump in and get started. Oh, but one more thing. I know that there are a lot of people out there, and you guys may even have connections and other business owners that say, I tried that stuff, it doesn't work. Or for some reason it doesn't work for my business. Well, this is a lot of the stuff that we hear. We'll meet somebody that says, you know what, I don't know anybody who's actually making money using Facebook. And that's probably true for a lot of people. According to a lot of research that's been done recently, almost 45 to anywhere from 45 to 60%, depending on what survey you look at. 45 to 60% of businesses in general out there have a Facebook page. And it's growing every day. Pretty soon everybody's going to have a page. But the real key stat that nobody talks about is less than 5% of people are actually getting a positive ROI out of their Facebook. That they're actually tracking it, they know what they're doing, and they know that they're actually making money from it, that it's a source of revenue or at least a source of lead generation for their business. So there aren't that many people out there that are doing it the right way. A lot of people say, I tried it, but it didn't work. Well, refer back to my first point. Most likely, people who haven't put in the hours of time, and I mean thousands of hours of time and research into really learning and understanding how social media and Facebook marketing is supposed to work, it's not going to work for you. So you have to either put those thousands and thousands of hours in, or you can kind of jumpstart yourself by joining me on webinars like this, where I try to give you some of the best info that I've learned in my time doing this. And then, of course, your other option is to always just close your eyes and contract a company to do it for you. But then again, how do you know that they know what they're talking about? So, another one. A lot of people out there will say, well, yeah, but Facebook's great and all, but it won't work for me because my customers aren't really on Facebook. Well, that's the thing. There are over 200 million Americans on Facebook. That's over 1 out of every 2 people. I will guarantee you, even if you market or you sell mostly to geriatric blind housewives over the age of 80, these people are on Facebook. Women over the age of 55, as a matter of fact, is actually the fastest growing demographic of people that are on Facebook. I guarantee for any business, you have a large and viable base on Facebook, even if you're a local business. I'll show you guys some examples as we get into my 7 keys here of some local businesses that are doing great on Facebook. Now, maybe you have a few hundred or a couple of thousand fans instead of 10,000 or 100,000 or a million fans, but you can still turn that into a positive ROI. And there are a lot of companies out there doing it right now, and I know because we work with a lot of them. Okay, so before we start on the 7 keys, I promised you guys the #1 secret that I think is maybe the most important thing in monetizing your Facebook page. There is a secret weapon to getting your fans to respond and interact with you every time you post. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what that is in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, we're going to jump in to our keys. And before we even get started, I'm going to give you guys a bonus key. Now, this isn't even one of the main 7 that we talked about warming things up here. This is a fantastic tip. Start with the end. Might not seem super obvious, but what I mean by that is when you're getting set up on Facebook and you're starting to figure out what you want to do there, visualize what you want your business to be in the end. You want to sit down and visualize what you want out of your Facebook page. How are you going to get that? Having a vision for your page versus having no vision and just going in there and haphazardly posting with no strategy or plan is the difference between getting money out of your page and not getting money out of your page. Vision versus no vision equals sales versus no sales. Couldn't be more true. And I'm sure a lot of you guys would realize this doesn't just apply to Facebook, even in your own businesses. Everybody I know that has a successful business has systems for the way that they run things, and that's what we're thinking about here, to developing a strategy and systems within Facebook to make sure it's generating what you guys want to generate out of it. You want to really think about what the theme is going to be of your Facebook page and what the purpose of it is. Do you have it there really to just increase awareness primarily of your business or your product or service? Do you have it as a vehicle to really just increase the number of leads that are, people that are heading to your website, just traffic every day? Whatever you think you want most out of your Facebook page, you need to really decide what the primary purpose and theme of the page is so that you can design a strategy to get the results that you want. And last is create that strategy. Once you have the vision for the page and you know what the purpose is, you have to figure out a way to use Facebook to implement those things to get the results that you're looking for. And creating that strategy is not the easiest thing in the world. It's something that takes time, but it's something that I guarantee you is worth your investment, because I've seen the results that companies marketing successfully on Facebook get, and it's substantial. Okay, so that's the bonus key. And with that gone, we're going to move on into our 7 keys to master. That should say mastering Facebook. So our first key is going to be to show up. Now, in our book we recently published, that was primarily for restaurants, but like I said, applies to everyone. Our most important key is being consistent, showing up on a regular basis. Treat it, again, exactly as you would your business. If you just don't really make an effort to be there or do something, it's going to fail. So I'm going to show you guys a great example of not showing up, and that is right here. So occasionally you'll find that somebody has gone in and created a page or app for their business and then done nothing. There's no profile picture. There's not a single post. There are some people that are using the app or the business, but nobody's really talking about it. This is going to be your #1 way to not really get anything out of your page. So you want to make sure that you're showing up regularly and you're ready to invest the time and the effort that it takes to attain a positive ROI from your Facebook page. Okay, so we're going to move on to key number 2, and that is to pay attention. This is vitally important, and I'm actually going to exit out of the presentation here real quick so I can pull up a internet window, and I will show you guys a great example of not paying attention. This is a local restaurant here in San Diego, and hopefully they are not on this call, because I have kind of done some work with these guys in the past. They have fantastic product. People love their stuff. You can see they have 400 fans, obviously, without really even trying that hard. They've set up a very basic page here and made a couple of posts, but they're not taking advantage of that fan base because they're not engaging their following. They throw a post out, and then somebody asks a question about the post, and there's never any sort of response. This is over September 27th, October, November. This is over 2 months ago, and no answer. Same thing a few weeks before that. They had a post and some people were commenting and no replies. So again, one of the most important things that you can do is to pay attention when you're on your page and make sure that when you have potential clients and customers that are contacting you there through Facebook, that you're getting back to them and you're really engaging with them and making them understand that you care. Try to imagine it as if somebody sends your business an email inquiring about something, or somebody leaves you a voicemail at your company. If you don't get back to that person within a reasonable amount of time, they're not going to think very much of you or your business. So your number 2 key is to pay attention. And moving on, number 3 is connect. Now, this can also kind of work in with paying attention, but I think of it as a little bit different in that you want to really connect with your visitors to your page, your fans and followers, almost on an emotional level, if you can. You want to get to the point where they really like you. They don't just, know what your business is and know what you sell, but you want to make sure that they really, really like you and feel connected to you. Because the more that they do that, the more they're going to interact with you on the page. And that's one of the most important things for determining whether your strategy on Facebook is going to be successful or not. If you get to the point where you're connecting with people, they're understanding, maybe even a little bit more about who you are and what you do, your page is going to be a lot more successful, because the more that your fans and followings post and interact with your page, the more often your posts, when they're just kind of put out there, are seen by your fans and following. Facebook has a system of the way that they rate everything that they do as far as what posts go into that main home news feed. Whenever somebody logs into Facebook for the very first time, they go to their home page or their news feed, and it's not your personal profile page and it's not a business page. It's the page that has all the posts of what all of your friends and the businesses that you're connected to, what they've been putting out there and what they've been saying. And those don't just show up every single post. There's an optimization to the way that those posts populate on that page. And the more closely connected you are with a person or a business page, the more you've interacted with them and the better level their interaction is with their following in general, you have a much higher chance of that post showing in your news feed, or the news feed you're following rather. So one of the most important things you can do is really connect with your following, because forming a tight and sometimes often emotional, it can be, bond with those people, a real bond of even friendship and liking, can really, really increase your effectiveness on Facebook. So I'm going to show you guys again another example here. This is a page called I Love My Daughter. Now, not everybody is going to have a page called I Love My Daughter. I realize that that's kind of taking the emotional thing to the next level. But you can tell that people really care about this. Even some of the posts that they make here. I love my daughter. Did you get any great deals on Cyber Monday for your daughter? I've seen so many awesome sales. Now, they're not even trying to necessarily sell anything there. They're just promoting and encouraging interaction and making their following feel like they really care about them. You can see that it's a strategy that works. Not only do they get tons of comments when they post something, they also have some of their fans and following organically just posting on their page, even putting up pictures of their daughters and things like that. Now, they have a really big following, 225,000 people. So we're always talking about things on a scale here. You know, if you start your business from the beginning and you have a couple of hundred fans instead of a couple 100,000 fans, obviously you won't necessarily get quite this level of interaction unless you're really, really good and you listen to a lot of our stuff. In that case, I think that you could probably do it. But nevertheless, the lesson that you really want to take away is that you definitely want to have a strategy for really connecting with your following and forming a relationship with them. Okay, so let's jump back in here, and we're going to move on to the next key. So key number 3 was connect with your following. Key number 4 is be a resource. And so sometimes we'll have clients, talk to us and say, well, gosh, Travis, it's really hard. How do I really promote and, get the people on my page following me and liking me when all I'm doing is selling and telling? For those of you who don't know, that means just putting posts out there talking about, your newest product and how great it is, and telling people where they can buy it, and asking people to, work with you and do consulting or buy your products. Or it's that kind of preaching from the platform, that megaphone of over and over and over again, sell, sell, sell. And I tell them that doesn't work. You can't just get on Facebook and sell all the time, or you kind of become what I liken to a lot of the email spammers out there. That's not to say there aren't some people out there doing great things on email, but I think every single person on this webinar right now is on at least a couple of those lists where you get some emails, and it seems like they email you every week or every couple weeks and saying, here's our new special, buy this, buy that. You want to treat your Facebook page like you're going to be a resource and offer people real, genuine help and valuable information from your expertise for free. You want them to appreciate you and actually care about the things that you do, and to think that you really care about them. And in a perfect world, you really do care about them. I don't want any one of you guys to get on Facebook and try to think about, well, what can I kind of say here so that my fans and followers think I care about them? So the number one thing to fix there is definitely work on your mindset and come from a position of where you do what you do because you feel like it really does help people. And that'll really come through on your Facebook page. Even if you're just throwing out like a little bit of simple wisdom, if you're a coach or a consultant, or if you work in like the cleaning industry, giving out some great tips. Don't be afraid that giving away things is going to stop you from getting business. I worked with a cleaning company that was in the Southeast, and we did their posting for a long time, and the owner eventually said, oh, I feel like we're not getting clients because we're giving them so many great tips about little things they can do on how to clean. But what you don't realize is that you form a much tighter bond, and people really care about you and see you as an expert and think you really know what you're talking about. So again, just as before, I don't want to just tell you guys about all this stuff. I want to kind of show you some examples. So we'll once again zoom back over to Facebook here, and I'll show you the page of Mr. Brian Tracy. Now, Brian Tracy is a coach, consultant, productivity person. He's a published author, really, really famous guy in the business world. And what he does with his page is just treats it as an opportunity to just inform and educate as many people as he can. And the longer that you're a part of his page, and the more you see all of the little things that he posts and how he reacts and gets back to people and answers their questions. I mean, you can go down and see, 37 people liked his post about his new blog post, 16 shares, which that's massive. This is a lot of power, people. You post information that is genuinely helpful to people, and they're going to want to share it with their friends and following. Well, when they share your information, they don't just share your information, they share you. And that's a great way to continue to populate your list on Facebook and get more and more fans and followers that are ultimately leads for you and your business. And at the same time, you're creating more people who like you, who trust you because they're referred by a friend. every single one of these people that shared something have a whole bunch of friends. Like let's say some guy named Tom shares Brian's blog post. So Tom shares it, and Tom's friend says, oh, you know what? Oh, what did Tom post here today? Oh, something from Brian. And if the friend really respects Tom, then he's going to respect what Brian says. It's just like getting a referral from, you know, a trusted friend. And one of the best ways to do that is to put content on these pages that is genuinely helpful to people. And I'm just scrolling down here, just looking at some of the comments and things. I mean, sometimes it's an inspirational quote for the day. Sometimes it's a blog post, but you can just see 650 people like this, 25 people commented, 261 people like this, 11 people commented. So think about every single one of those people that liked the post or commented. That's not just them. The average person on Facebook themselves has 200, 300 friends. So if 650 people liked that post, that's another audience. We're talking about in the hundreds of thousands that he's potentially exposed to right there. That is the power of Facebook. Okay, so we're going to jump back into the slideshow here. Oops. Okay, so key number 4 was to be a resource. So moving on, key number 5, be interesting. Now, this is just as important as posting great information, because you can get on there every day. You can post super helpful stuff that you think is great information for your following there and something that your customers would really be interested in, but you got to make sure that they really are. You've got to present your information in a fashion that people will actually enjoy and be drawn to. Let me tell you something. I've got a whole ton of books sitting on the shelves right next to me, and they're filled with outstanding information about being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, understanding how social media works. But I'll tell you something. I read some of those books a lot more often than the others. Now, do you think that's really because the information in one book is better than the information in another? Not really. It's because the person writing the book presented it in a much more interesting form. The one thing that I ask all of our clients that we consult with that do their own postings on Facebook is to really, this is a great tip for you guys, so definitely write this down. You want to know your ideal customer. And by that, I don't mean, you know, you think about how much somebody makes or something like that. I'm talking about doing an exercise where you actually sit down at your desk with a blank piece of paper in front of you and you start visualizing your ideal customer. Every little detail you can. What is his name or her name? What is this person's background? Where do they come from? What's their current situation? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids? You know, what do they like to wear on a daily basis? Do they have glasses? You know, what do they do on their weekends when they're not working? Where do they live? What kind of house do they live in? You want to really flesh this out in your mind so extremely well that you have this image and vision of who your perfect customer really is. Because when you know that person that well, you know exactly what that kind of person would be interested in. You know, what are their likes and dislikes? And you use this profile you've kind of created in your own head to create the content that you're going to be posting on Facebook every day. You want to really know what the people are into, even if it's somewhat unrelated to your business. You want to be able to post things on there on a regular basis that are really interest grabbing, something that people will look to and they'll think about your page. They'll think, oh, Travis's Facebook page, yeah, that's really cool. You know, he had something on there the other day about, you know, this or that. I'll give you guys one really quick story. I stumbled across a couple of months ago, early in October, that I think it's October 6th or sometime right around then, is actually National Talk Like a Pirate Day. Now, what does that have to do with social media? Maybe you guys can tell me because I don't know. But we incorporated that into what we were doing that day because I thought it was something that was really cool and really interesting. So we put, it might have been part of an email newsletter or it might have been part of our Facebook page. I don't really remember. But we definitely included that in some of our communications that day. Hey, everybody, don't forget today is National Talk Like a Pirate Day. So, make sure that you walk up to somebody completely random and say, "Arr, matey, how you doing?" It's just something that's really exciting for people, and we got a lot of positive feedback from that. Now, you want to balance that, not necessarily do it every single day. You want to make sure people know what it is that you actually do for business and for your company. But don't be afraid to mix in things that are interesting in that kind of fashion. So again, let me show you guys an example here. This is another local company out here in San Diego, and they do a fantastic job with their Facebook page. Absolutely amazing. They do great things like little daily passwords to keep people interested. Or they're not always daily. It's once every few days. They give a password phrase, and people that come into the door of the yogurt shop can just say the password from Facebook, and they get a discount. And it's a great way for them to track the results they're kind of getting from their Facebook page and how involved people are and what they're doing. They're also great at knowing their following. They live here in San Diego, and there's a big military presence here, so they make sure to say something important about Veterans Day. Posting pictures is always a great idea. There are recently at some kind of street fair or festival or something, you can see they posted a picture of themselves here with Sleeping Beauty, or maybe Cinderella, as one of their following says. And you can see, like I said, these guys are great. They follow up. When somebody comments on their page, they're paying attention and they follow up. You can see that somebody commented on their page at 4:30 in the afternoon, and they followed up with them only about an hour and 45 minutes later. That is managing a page correctly and encouraging great interaction and meaning that they're going to really profit from this in the long run. And you can see they're doing fun stuff all the time. They put in more pictures. They posted 3 times that day pictures of the fair that they were at 4 times. So that's really interesting stuff to their following. Pictures are always a good idea because they stand out in that home news feed that people look at. So I encourage everybody out there to be on your Facebook page and posting every day, and posting a lot of content that's really good and helpful and acts as a resource to your following. But also do what you can to make the page entertaining as well, because even if you have the best information in the world, people in the long run won't really pay attention if it's not interesting. Okay, so let's move on here to key number 6. Greet your visitors. Now this one I'm not even going to tell you about as much as show you again. So let's jump back into Facebook. What I mean about this is, if you have a page that's set up on Facebook, and you can register a custom URL just like the guys have here, facebook.com/yogurtontheRocks, and that's great. And you can tell everybody about your page. But if they come to it and they land on your page and they're just hitting the wall, there's a little gray like button up here if they're not a fan yet. But you're posting all of this really engaging, interactive content that's interesting and helpful. You know what? If people aren't directed to on the page, they might forget to click that like button and become a fan of your business. And if you don't close the loop by getting them to click that like button, then the whole point of promoting your page is lost. If people just come to your page and they start scrolling down and reading, they're not interacting if they're not a fan, because these little boxes to write a comment aren't even there if you're not a fan of a business on Facebook most of the time. So people might just start scrolling down and reading your stuff, and then they leave your site and they're gone and they never come back. So what I mean by greet your fans is creating custom applications that give people a reason to like your page. I'll show you an example of what I mean. They even, of course, they do it here at the Yogurt on the Rocks page, one of my favorites. Let me unlike the page real quick. So anytime somebody new comes to their page who isn't already a fan, they land here. And it specifically is designed to capture people, to get them to click on this like button. People come and they don't see or get confused with a lot of content that they start reading down the page. It says, and there's the little arrow and everything, like our Facebook page and get a printable coupon. And it's, of course, designed to match their branding and stuff, which is really smart as well. And you'll see that if somebody likes the page and becomes a fan, that what happens is that little image goes away and another one pops up saying, thanks for becoming a fan. Please enjoy this printable coupon. And then they have the actual coupon that you can print off and go in and use. I've actually talked to these guys. They'll even let you just pull it up on your smartphone and go in and use it. So that's a great idea, to greet your fans with a custom landing page that's there to ensure that they like the page, so they're opted in and tied into you. I'll show you guys another example. Here's another restaurant right out here in San Diego. And when you come to the page, exactly where you land, again, everything custom designed to match their branding. It's they've got the little foam fan hand saying #1 and pointing up at the like button, saying, like our page, become a fan to get a coupon for a free dessert at our place. So it's always a good idea to offer some kind of carrot like that. Now maybe your business doesn't do a lot with coupons. Maybe you can offer a free report, or you can record a special video for your following. Anything that you can think of that would interest the type of people that you want to be your customer when they come to the page to click that like button and opt in. So you'll see here again, after you click the like button and become a fan, there's another image that pops up. Thank you for becoming a fan. Good for one free dessert. They've got testimonials, quotes, their address information. And of course, on their wall, they have a lot of interaction and things going on there as well. So this is what I mean by greet people. And that's extremely important because, again, if people just show up on your page and they miss that little like button that's there on the top, they just start scrolling down and interacting, you'll never capture enough of the leads to grow your page and really ensure that you're going to get a positive ROI off of it. Okay, so let's go back into the presentation here. So greeting your visitors, absolutely vital. And the last key that I want to go over with you guys is build your list. Okay, and there's a couple of ways to think about this because there's two kinds of lists. #1, what I just showed you, you're building a list on Facebook there by driving traffic and driving potential customers to your page and getting them to like it. So everyone who likes your page is now on your list. They're on your Facebook list. So they're a follower and a fan of your page. So whenever you're putting out new content, whether that's just informational stuff you're doing to help out, something really interesting to encourage interaction and build a tighter relationship between you and your following so that you get a little bit more exposure, or whether it is the marketing messages that you put out there. I don't want you guys to listen to everything I've said today and think that I mean you can never advertise or market your business on Facebook. Absolutely. That's the whole point. What we want to stay away from is doing it so much that your following becomes kind of turned off to what you're saying. Here's another free tip for you guys. I'm going to give you a bonus right now. What we suggest you try to follow is a 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, be posting something that's either really helpful information or really interesting. And 20% of the time, include in marketing and promotions about, events that you have coming up, or, a special service that you're offering, or a discount, or whatever it is that you're trying to sell at the time. So keeping that 80-20 rule is really smart and helps you really grow that Facebook list. But there's another list that I'm not talking about here that you really would be well advised, I think, to grow as well. So what I'm talking about that is, I think that Facebook is not going anywhere. I feel like they're going to be here forever. But the smart business owner doesn't take anything for granted or assume anything. You don't want to spend, hours, days, weeks, months, even years building a massive following on Facebook when in the end you don't really have total control over that. And although it's extremely unlikely, the possibility always exists that something could happen and you could lose out on that list entirely. I don't think that Facebook will disappear overnight, but there have been known to be errors before. We actually have a client that we've worked with out here that had a list of about 2,000 fans. And a month or two ago, when Facebook made kind of a couple of big updates, about 800 of those fans just disappeared right out of thin air. Now, between who we work with and who we talk to and what we find out on the message board community, we know about thousands and thousands of people that are on Facebook and what's going on with their pages and fans. And I haven't heard of this happening to anybody else out there yet. So I don't want to scare you that bad. But, it's a possibility. It's something that could happen. And she said, I really wish that there was a way that I had captured all those people so that I had their contact information for my own. And so what we recommend that a lot of people do, if you're going to be on Facebook and you're going to create some of that customization I just showed you anyway, let's think about a way to capture people's information, to build your own personal list outside of Facebook so you can continue to market to those people and build relationships with them forever, whether Facebook continues to run or not. So again, I'll give you a couple of really good examples for this, or at least one here. There's a business here in San Diego, the Divorce Help Clinic. They do divorce planning and mediation. And when they capture people, part of their kind of pitch to capture people, this is their landing page, obviously. It's asking you to like them. And it says down here, if you scroll down to the bottom, for a free report on 6 divorce strategies you need to know, please click the Like Us button above. That's something that people are going to be interested in. So you click that like button, and it takes you through, excuse me, to a page that says, thank you for becoming a fan. To receive the free report, simply enter your email address below, and we'll send it over. So they're saying, we need you to enter your email address so we can send you the report. So right here at the bottom, they include a little opt-in box with name and email so that they can send that report right on over. And capturing that lead information one time like that within Facebook, that sends the email information onto their email marketing software, and they've got that person captured forever. And that is, again, massively powerful to build and grow your email list in addition to your Facebook list. Because you can do things down the road where you send out some email marketing talking about a contest you're going to have on Facebook to kind of build the hype around it, so to speak. You can talk about on Facebook about how you've got some great information coming out in your next newsletter, and anybody who's interested can go to this tab and enter their information if they want to get it, if they're not already part of your mailing list. So it's great to have these multiple tools to be able to play them off of each other and really grow your following as much as possible, because the bigger your list is, the bigger your chance for profits and a good ROI from your online marketing and social media, specifically Facebook marketing. You can do a lot better if you have a much bigger list. So those are the 7 strategies, and I know I still owe you guys some more free information and also let you know about some lucky winners of some free product. Of course, as usual, I want to make you guys a special offer, everybody who's on here now, because I know that there's a lot of people who probably just listened to everything that I said and said, oh my God, if I do all of this stuff and have to think about this and figure this out every day, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to take me 2, 3, 4 hours a day every day. Now think about that. What is your time worth? So what we're offering one time just to attendees of this webinar is our Fan Page Profits Multiplier. This is an entire package designed specifically to get you up and running off the ground on social media, or on Facebook, I'm sorry, even if you have a presence already, to revamp that and get it done the right way so that you are guaranteed to have a positive ROI from your social media efforts. Now, what this is going to include is our fan page basic training and review. Now, this is consulting that we do with you to, take a look at what your presence is right now on Facebook, if you have one, and how it can be improved. If you don't have a presence at all, we kind of show you and go over some examples of maybe people in your industry that are doing well, and we kind of talk to you and figure out, what's your plan? We talked about this earlier. What is your plan and what is your vision for your page? And we figure out how we can help you implement that. So after we get all the input from you on what you want, and we spend that consulting time with you, we go back and we custom create our own strategy and blueprint, completely done for you. We know what you want. Now this is how we think you can get it. So at that point, we come back and work with you again, and we start doing some of that custom design work to create those really professional pages that make a statement about what your business is, as well as the importance of what I just showed you about closing the loop on those people, not losing those leads out of your marketing funnel, making sure they click that like button. So we do all of the custom graphic design work and planning of all of those custom pages. We also include the technical implementation, the actual programming of the apps that those pages sit on. There's a lot of services out there that you can sign up and maybe host some custom apps like that for free on your page. The issue is that that's not really yours. They are the ones that host those apps, and at any time, and I'll tell you that they always do, once they've built up a big enough following, they want to start charging you a monthly fee for it. Sometimes it's $20 a month or $40 a month or $100 or $200 a month. It can continue to rise, and in the end, you're not really in control. So what we guarantee is you get these pages and they're yours for life. We'll also include the lead capture integration like I just showed you, so that you can capture their email addresses and things like that. Now this is really key, again, because should anything ever happen to Facebook, we need to be able to have those people with you for long term so that you can continue to market to them down the road. If you don't even have email marketing software right now, that's totally fine. We can set you up with a database so that those leads are being captured until your list is big enough that you really want to get some email marketing software. There are even free ones you can use in the meantime. The lists are very easy to export out and change, and we also will help you with that. Okay, so you get all of that, which is our normal fan page profits multiplier. But again, today, as part of our special offer for you guys, I want to throw in these bonuses. The Facebook pay-per-click mastery. Oh, and while I'm there, 3 people on this call right now win their own free copy of Facebook pay-per-click mastery. I will shoot you guys an email with how we're going to deliver that to you right after the webinar. Mike Jones in New Jersey, Dan Ellington in Pennsylvania, and Sarah Weimer in Arizona. So you guys are the lucky winners. And of course, anybody who takes advantage of our special offer today will also get Facebook pay-per-click mastery. Now this is huge because you're going to have this Facebook page, but how are you going to send people there in the first place? I mean, you can talk to your customers that come in the door and say, hey, join my page, join my page. But Facebook has an incredible pay-per-click tool that allows you to target people down to their interests, their demographics, where they live, what they like. If you run a volleyball business, you think you'd like to be able to populate your Facebook page only with people who are on Facebook and have said that they love volleyball? Yeah, that's really powerful stuff. Our product allows you to create these ads within Facebook that you can get the exact kind of customers you want to be fans on your page for as little as 20-25 cents per person. So that's one bonus. And perhaps the biggest bonus I've ever given out on a webinar. If you guys choose to take advantage today and let us help you get set up on Facebook, we will include in that 1 free month of our viral fan page posting. Meaning when we consult with you in the beginning and we understand your vision and your message, we're going to go in there for you for the first month and create content and do daily posting and unlimited replying back to your following to kind of get you off on the right foot and show you how things are supposed to work and how those postings should be put out there to encourage the maximum amount of interaction. That's a service that we do for a ton of clients, and that's our real price, $300 a month, that I'm including for free here. At the end of that month, I'm personally going to do a consultation and strategy adjustment call with you. So we look at the end of the month, what's been done and how that worked, and ways that you might want to change, evaluate, or edit your strategy going forward. I don't know exactly how long that'll take. My guess is probably about a half an hour. Our consulting goes at $200 an hour, so I'm listing that as a $100 value. Now, all in all, with everything that's included and the bonuses that I'm giving you here, this is a value of over $1,500. And that doesn't even include, what you get in the end. You get a Facebook fan page that actually works and brings you revenue. That's priceless. There's no amount of money that you can put on having a marketing tool that works, believe me. And furthermore, I'll tell you guys, anything that you invest with us, if at the end of our time working together, you are unhappy with what's been done, you feel like you did not get what I guaranteed here, I'll tell you right now, you get 100% of your money refunded. 100%. Okay, so you get all of that stuff today, $1,500 worth, of all of these components and bonuses. What would somebody pay for it? The question you ask yourself is, what would I invest today to have, a month or 2 months or 3 months from now, a marketing tool that is bringing me a positive ROI every month? And what we came up with is today a one-time payment of $697, or it is getting to be close to the holidays, and I know a lot of people out there are probably trying to save a little extra money for Christmas shopping. You can also do 2 separate payments of $397. Now, for anybody out there that wants to take advantage of this incredible offer, go ahead and email to info@socialstarfish.com with the subject of either 1Pay or 2Pay. And we'll get in contact with you instantly. We'll send you an invoice with your option. As soon as that's paid, either I or Christine will personally get in touch with you, if we can, if we don't have too many people doing this, either via email or maybe even a phone call. If you want to include your phone number in the email that you send, absolutely do that. Definitely your name, business name, and phone number in the email, as well as the subject saying 1Pay or 2Pay. And we'll personally get in touch with you and set you on the path to having a tool that's successful, having a well-optimized presence on Facebook that actually makes you money. And then you can be like the little guy you see over there on the right, carrying the big bag of cash around all the time. So I almost forgot, before we go, I told you that I was going to give you the biggest secret to getting fans to respond and interact with you every time that you post. And what we've learned with time is that what works is, this is one of those things that when I tell it to you, you're just going to smack yourself in the head and say, why didn't I think of that? Ask questions. Ask questions and, put invitations out there. Things that actually demand a response. You'd be surprised at what happens. Actually, you know what? I had an example for you guys with this one too. There's another local business out here in San Diego, so you guys can see it's not just for national businesses that it works. This is a great barbecue place that's right out here in the San Diego area. And if we scroll down a little bit, we'll see that they frequently ask questions. Guess what I have on the menu today? Mac and cheese. That's even asked and answered. And they still got 7 people to like it and 3 responses from it. You know, what's better on Thanksgiving, the food or the football? They got 10 comments from people answering their questions. They've done some other really, really great stuff lately with, they have a new food truck, I think, basically, that they've offered. And they had a poll on here, let's see if I can find it real quickly, where they just asked people, you know, we've got a new food truck. Where would you guys like to see us end up? I don't see it here right now, but, you know, they put one message out saying, you know, here's our new food truck. Where do you guys want it to be? Oh, here you go. And they just get a ton of comments of people reacting. You know, who wants coops? You know, 8, 10, 11 comments from their following. And that stuff, that kind of level of interaction ensures that your posts are going to be shown again and again in the feed, and that your marketing efforts aren't going to be in vain. So I hope that that's a little nugget that really helped you guys out. So we're pretty much out of time here. Been right at 1 hour. So I want to definitely thank everybody. Again, if you'd like to take advantage of the special offer and pay a little bit of money today to get an online marketing tool that works and creates revenue for you, then email right now to info@socialstarfish.com. And if you'd like to do the one-time payment of $6.97, put one pay in the subject. And if you want to do the 2 payments of $3.97, put 2 pay in the subject. I want to thank everybody again for attending and congratulate you all on really caring about this stuff and wanting to make an effort to improve your presence on social media. I applaud all of you. So hopefully you guys have a fantastic month of December, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.